All right, guys, welcome back to today's episode. Just going to start off by saying that it might be a little bit of a shorter one. I don't want to jam too much into each episode because there's a lot to take in the modded Minecraft. So I did go mining for not too long, just a little bit. I did make a backpack. It's just a basic one here from Iron Backpacks. It just takes 4 leather, a chest, and 4 wool. Then you can get an iron, gold, and diamond as well. I believe you can enchant those to get holding. Not 100% on how the upgrade points work with that. I could probably just go into the iron backpacks right here, and I can extra upgrade point, damage bar, blank upgrade. So there's a couple things you can do with it. I really never use that because once you get the diamond, it's basically a double chest that you can take with you on your back. So that's usually what I try to do there. But I also did a couple level ups on my hammer. It's broken at the moment. I just got back from mining. I added a diamond so I can have the obsidian mining level, so I can mine obsidian. Basically, have a diamond hammer instead of an iron. I added a little bit more redstone as well as the lapis. As you can see, I now have fortune 2 and looting 2. So mine's quicker. It lasts longer with that diamond on there because it adds another 500 to my durability. Go ahead and empty that there. To do what I just did there, in case you're wondering, to move everything from one to another, I think I explained it in the previous one. Just hold space. Um, I'm gonna leave that in my backpack. I'm actually gonna take out the iron in both, and I'm going to add one more because my smeltery can only do 63 at the moment. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in there just because I'm gonna make some armor. I'm still armorless, and then also repair my tools. I have enough to repair, but I do want to go into a little bit better of a chest. Um, how can I say it? Chest alignment. Because right now having double chest, I don't really care for it because they take up too much space, and there's a better way to manage your space and the amount of house that I have right now because not really, like I said, I'm not too big into building. I usually just start with this, and then I have all my machines outside until I get to the point where there's too much, and then I go ahead and build something. So, I'm gonna show you how you can have a bigger chest in just one spot. So there's a couple ways to do it. If I could take these chests right here and just upgrade them so they become the bigger ones, or you could do it from scratch. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a upgrade to get to it. So I'm gonna need some wood. And then I'm also going to need some iron. And I'm just gonna do some irons for right now just to give you guys an idea of how it is here. So, if you go ahead like this to make a chest and then you place iron in the I lied. You need to do it the opposite way to upgrade from wood to iron. So if you outline iron, don't make an iron plate. I mean, you can if you want, but and then you place wood in the middle. So it's a wood to iron chest upgrade. So what this does is if I just go over here and right click, it makes it an iron chest, and it's a double chest in the size of a single chest. So as you can see, 6 rows by 9, 6 rows by 9. The exact same chest, except for it's a single block. Now I can increase this again by making it a gold and then a diamond. Um, I could go smelt my gold to show you, but it's the exact same recipe. So to go from wood to iron, you do the iron outline with wood in the middle. And then to go from the iron to the gold, you just outline 1 ingot of silver by gold. And then for diamond, it is, let me look it up real quick because I think it's only 2 diamonds. Uh, yeah. So it's a gold ingot, an iron, or an iron, 1 gold ingot, 2 diamonds, and glass. As you can see, this is the other recipe that you could do here. Instead of doing an existing chest, you can automatically just make a chest, outline it with iron, and then outline the iron chest with gold, and then outline the golden chest with the 2 diamonds and the 6 glass to get the diamond chest. Um, so that's a way that you can get more space for less chest, I guess you could say. So I usually go ahead and do that just to organize my stuff a little bit better because I try to have everything organized so if I need something, I can go directly to that chest and not waste time, basically. There is also another way that you can store items. There are barrels. Now, there are barrels that were just added to Minecraft in recent updates, but these are a little bit better because you can upgrade them to hold a lot more than a normal chest or anything. So it's a mod called Yabba. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So if you go at Yabba, that'll bring up just that mod. So you want to. This is the item barrel here. So what you want to do is you can either make this, or you can just take a blank barrel upgrade and put it to a chest. So it's you can make 16 of those by this, or you could just make it like the recipe there. So I'm just gonna do the log one. It makes it a little bit easier, for me anyway. I'm gonna put that one up there, and then boom. All right, I have a barrel. So if I go ahead and place the barrel, let's just say here. So if I place the barrel here and I shift right click, so I can lock it, and then I can always display data or display bar. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it. Not yet. I'm gonna go ahead and put cobblestone in there, and I'll show you why I'm gonna go ahead and put cobblestone. So if I puts cobblestone in, and if you hold shift, it'll tell you how many you can store currently. So right now, I can store 4,096 blocks of cobblestone in just this barrel. So one little slot. You can also go ahead and upgrade your barrel to different tiers to hold a bigger amount. So I believe right now I think that's 64 times 64. I could be wrong, but I believe it's a stack of it's 64 stacks of that one item. And like I said, you can upgrade it to increase the capacity of the barrel. And what's nice about this is I can take out one at a time by left clicking, or if you shift left click, it takes out a stack at a time. And if you right click, it takes a stack at a time. I don't know if yeah, don't and now I don't have it. I don't even think I have a spare one. Oh god, going back to stone, huh? Back to the stone days. So you can't insert one at a time, but I mean, if you really want to get rid of your cobblestone, you don't want to insert one at a time. So right click to add a stack, left click, shift left click to take out a stack, and just click to take out one at a time. Now, what's nice about the barrels is, say you just got done mining, and you have all of this cobblestone. So instead of going through and right clicking, right clicking, right clicking, right clicking, if you double click your right click, it automatically adds all of the cobblestone from your inventory. I'll do that again here. I have no cobblestone in there at all. So I'm going to add one stack just so it knows what item is going in there. And then I'm just going to double right click. Takes all 19 stacks and puts it in there automatically. So that's a really nice way to, if you have a lot of dirt, a lot of sand, a lot of the other just random diorite and andesite and granite and gravel, and it's a good way to organize it, and you can store a lot in one little area because that's 64 stacks, and this is 6 by 9, which is only 54 stacks. So that holds another 10. It's technically another row and then plus one, but I like it because it looks pretty cool. It's a barrel. It displays exactly how much you have in there. And if you hold shift, it tells you have 1,218. If you don't want to do 19 times 64, then add 2 to make sure you have enough for a mod or anything like that. So that's another cool way to store items as well. That's really all I use at the beginning. I usually go into applied energistics, which is a computer based storage where you store everything on drives, and it's sort of like hard drives of a computer or your phone or anything like that. It stores them on drives, and then you can take those drives out and move it if you need to, or take them out and put them into a chest that you have hidden, so anybody on the server can't get into your stuff. That's one way. You could also use a security terminal where you have to have a card to insert into the security terminal to access your panel. So if you're playing on a server, you don't want everybody to be able to access it. You can do that. There's also a another mod that's just like Applied Energistics. I don't remember exact name of it. Let me just look up controller here, and I'll be able to find it. Not extract. Refined storage. That's it there. That's basically the exact same thing as Applied Energistics, but it's a dumbed down version, and I want to say the materials needed to get into this mod is a lot less than Applied Energistics. Because as you can see, I'll go to the basic one here just so we can So 4K drive is sort of what you want to start with. You don't want to start with a 1K. They don't really store. I mean, it stores a decent amount, but you want to start with 4K. That's usually what I try to go with. So you would need three 1K, which is just silicon glass. And I believe silicon is just crushed quartz or nether quartz. Once you get a Fortune 3, you can get nether quartz like it's nothing. Same with Certus quartz, so it's no big deal. With applied energistics, you have to go and find those meteors that we have encountered already. You have to mine into those. You have to get certain patterns to get certain items, and you need those certain items to create certain things. And there's a lot more to it. You can do a lot more with applied energistics as well, but I prefer the refined storage at beginning, just so you can get your supplies up to a sustainable amount before you get into applied energistics. Because, like I said, it does take a decent amount of material to get into it and to actually go into it. Because you can do auto crafting and a bunch of good stuff with it. So that those are the other mods that you can use for storage. What I like to do after I sort of go mining for a little bit and upgrade my tools is I like to either get flight or I go to machines and then I go to the nether to get lava for power production. So, um, to go with the flying, I believe it's extra utilities that adds it. Yes, it does. It's called the angel ring. So what this does is it gives you creative flight but not in creative. So it's a creative flight in survival. So as you can see, it uses 32 GP, which is grid power. And to generate grid power, the you can use solar panels, and they give off one grid power, and that's it. So for me to use the Angel Wing, I would need 32 of them. But then there's also if you have so many of them, it gives you a efficiency loss. As you can see there, progressive efficiency loss. So from 0 to 80, there's no efficiency loss. But once you get above 80, you get a 33% drop for your solar panel. So instead of getting 1 GP, you'd only get 66 if you have above 80 of them. Uh, but that's it's an easy way to do it, but you would need what was it 32 of solar panels. So 32 solar panels, you're looking at over oh no, you get 3 per thing, so you would only need what is that? About 11. You would need 11 of these recipes. So you would need 33 lapis, 33 resonating redstone crystals, and the polished stone as well. So you could technically just go ahead and roll out 32 of those, make it easy. And then once it's nighttime, you're kind of screwed. You have no grid power because the solar panels don't generate power when the sun's not there. So to get around that, you need the lunar panels. And the lunar panels are uh, it basically does the same thing as solar panel, but at nighttime. And if it's raining, you also do get power reduced. It says right there in the little tool description, power reduced by rain. So you need to keep that in mind. Also, so you need to make as many to make as many basically make as many as possible because once it starts raining, you don't want to be flying in the air and then magically just fall and take a whole bunch of damage or die. So you definitely want to do that. The other ways you could do it is lava. So this lava mill will generate 4 grid power if this is adjacent to lava, so it's not too bad. There's also a water one, but the water does have to be flowing, so you can't put it in where there's water blocks or source blocks the entire way. It has to be flowing. That can also generate 4. The other one's wind. The higher you place it, the more wind you get. That's also a good way that you could do it. I prefer the fire. And the reason I do fire is that you could just place netherrack underneath, and then just light that on fire, and then place this above the fire, and it generates 4. It's very straightforward. You need 8 of them to get 32, and that's all the grid power you need for the to fly. So I usually go with the fire mill. It's the easiest. You only need 8 of them. It is kind of expensive, but you only need 8, and I don't have to make 64 panels, put them on my roof and you need the reactive, which is in the resonator. It's only a lapis, so it's not too bad, but I prefer the fire mill. It's not as many blocks in there. So that's a good way to get creative flight. The angel ring is expensive in beginning game, and the reason I say it's expensive beginning game is you need a ring of a flying squid, chicken wing, uh, chicken wing ring. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Chicken wing ring. I can't. I couldn't even say it the first time. I had to stop and think about it for a little bit. But to get the chicken wing ring, you need just 2 feathers. That's no big deal. The 4 iron, no big deal. The resonating redstone crystal, again, no big deal. It's just redstone and an ender shard. Or if you mine redstone blocks, there's a chance of getting this redstone crystal. Or you can add petroleum dust with a redstone ore, and it gives you 2 of them. And to make this, you need basalt's powder, pulverized obsidian, or redstone. And so it gets a little crazy here. Not to get too technical, but a fluid transposer we will be using in the future. You can just take essence of knowledge or liquid XP, add it to a pulverized obsidian to get the powder to be able to make the resonating redstone crystal. I prefer to just go mining for a little bit, mine as much redstone as possible, and have a chance of getting it. With the hammer, I'm not 100%. I didn't do too many tests with it, but I believe it's the block that you mine. So with the hammer, you technically only mine one block, and it mines out the other 8 around it. I don't know if that actually takes part in the chances of you getting the redstone crystal or not. Like I said, I haven't done too many testings, but it does seem like it doesn't drop a lot. I don't know the actual drop percentage of it, but it's either very low percentage or it does only take part and it's better to use a pickaxe on it. So just keep that in mind when you're mining if it doesn't drop too many of them. So besides those, you also need a golden lasso with a chicken inside. So the golden lasso is very simple. It's just 4 gold nuggets, 4 string. Nothing crazy. But you do need a chicken inside of it. So golden lasso, all you do is you just walk up to any entity in Minecraft and you just right click it and it puts that entity in that golden lasso and you can carry it wherever you want. So to get cows and stuff back to your house, so you don't have to go out with a lead, connect it to it, and make your way all the way back across water, snow, all this stuff. You just throw it in here, you sprint back, fly back, whatever you want to do. Um, and you just right click the ground and it comes right out of your golden lasso and the golden lasso is reusable. So uh, it's very useful, very helpful. We will be using these 100% in the future. So besides that, that's how you get the chicken wing ring. And so with the chicken wing ring, then you also need to add that to a recipe as well. So you're gonna need 4 black dye, which when we get to it, it won't be very difficult due to the Botania that I was talking about, saying that you definitely want to get the flowers. That's how I get my dyes. They're a lot easier than going around trying to kill a squid or get into bees or do anything crazy. So the 4 black dye, 2 diamonds, the chicken wing ring that we already have, a golden lasso with a squid inside, and then an ender pearl. So that's how you would get a ring of flying squid. And then with the ring of flying squid, you have to add that with two glass. It doesn't have to be pink. It can be any glass. They're just cycling through it. 4 gold. You also need a golden lasso with a bat inside. Simple enough. The one that's difficult is the cursed lasso with a ghast. So to get the cursed lasso, let's just start there. You need to make a golden lasso, and then you need a drop of evil. A drop of evil you can only receive by killing the wither skeleton. So, and it's not, and as you can see here, it's a 10% chance of it dropping. But if you have looting, it increases the chances. Obviously, that's how looting works. But you have a 1 in 10 chance of getting a drop of evil when you kill a wither skeleton. So that's already a nightmare enough. Not that bad, but it can be if your luck is horrible. And then you also need to get a ghast in that cursed lasso. Now, to get the ghast in the cursed lasso, you can't just build up to a ghast and right click it. That's too easy. Even though that's not easy, but that would be too easy. You have to deal damage to the ghast because the ghast has too much health for you to take it like captive. Sort of like if you I'm sure you play Pokemon. It's like a Pokeball. You have to do some damage and then Pokeball. That's how this is. You have to attack the gas, not kill it, but you have to get it low enough health, and then that's how you capture the gas in the cursed lasso to get your angel ring. And that's when you get creative flight. So it's a little bit of a process, but it's well worth it once you get there because then you don't have to run around. You don't have to run everywhere. Once you get to the nether, you can fly everywhere you need to go. It's a very helpful little guy there. I will definitely be getting into that pretty quickly. But other than that, I usually try to go into some of the power generation. I usually start with something very basic with just like a generator that runs off of coal. And when it runs off coal, I just throw a stack of coal in it and let it run and generate my and use my machines to ore double. Because eventually this is just going to get annoying because I'm going to have say 15 stacks of gold that need smelted, and then on top of that, I'm going to need gold smelted, smelted, silver. Um, there's too many ores to just keep running back here, throwing it in, going and getting lava, putting lava in, and then just keep scrolling through this. So eventually, this is going to be obsolete, and I need something a little bit quicker. And with the quickness of the machines, because I can just put a hopper on top, put the 15 stacks of uh, iron on top of it, and just let it go. And I can just walk away, go mine, go mess with another mod, go do something else. Makes it a lot better. So usually I just start with a basic, just a generator. It is. Oh, did they remove it in the updates? It's one of these here. I think it's a furnace generator. Maybe it's not called a generator. They might have removed it. Let me see here. No, it's definitely a generator. Is there something redstone? Hmm. They might have removed it. It used to look like the portable generator here, but it was blue. So it has to be one of these extra utilities too, and they just changed the texture on me. So it's probably going to be the furnace. It's either going to be that or the survival. It's going to be one of those. But you just put coal into it. It generates power. It's very basic. It's kind of not useful, but it kind of is at the same time. I might go with that, or I might just hop right into my. How many more blocks? 10. Or I might just hop straight into the main power I use for beginning and mid game until I get to late game when I get into the generator, the big reactors and the big giant solar panels. I like to use the magmatic dynamos. So the magmatic dynamos takes Invar. To get Invar, you need a couple machines, so that's why you have to do some generation before. To get Invar, you need Invar blend, which is iron and nickel. So you can pulverize the iron and pulverize the nickel, which is just ferrous. Or no, they actually call it nickel now. I apologize. It is nickel now. But you just combine those to get Invar. So you need or you need, I think it's eight. Is it eight? No, it's six. So you need 6 Invar ingots per magmatic dynamo. And these generate, I believe it's 80. I believe it's 80 RF, which is redstone flux. It produces 80 per tick. And tick is just sort of like just take it with a grain of salt. I believe it's like a second, but every server could have a different tick rate, so it could be higher, it could be lower. But it generates enough power to do what we need to at the very beginning. If you put like 10 to 15 of them together, so that's usually what I try to go with. But the problem with the magmatic dynamos is you have to provide them with lava. So to run one of them, you can technically run down, just keep grabbing buckets full of lava and putting it in. It gets really annoying. So what I like to do is I make a pump. This one, yeah, range pump. So I make the pump here. I believe it's that one. There's a couple different pumps. They all sort of do the exact same thing, but I believe it's the pump here from range pumps. So I create this here, and then I also add a tank on top. It's the ender tank. And what the ender tank does is it's sort of like an ender chest. How if you put an item in one, you can get it from the other one. So what the ender tank does here is it transports liquids from one spot to another, or you can have it so it can access them at the exact same time. It's an ender chest, but for a tank for liquid. So what I do is I place one on top of the pump. So the pump it pumps out the lava from the nether, and it forces it into this tank here. So then I place another tank up here on top of my dynamos to generate power, and it constantly just feeds it with power as long as I have the chunk loaded. We'll get into chunk loading in a little bit. But once you have the chunk loaded in the nether, it will automatically provide lava until the pump either runs out of area of lava or until there's no lava to be basically pumped out. So it's a very efficient way to get a lot of lava and a good supply of it until either it runs out of and it either runs out of power or it runs out of lava. So it's a very good power produce. I guess you could say producer. A good power producer, very early game. You can't really use it late game because it's not enough power to do anything. So I will be getting into that as well. Okay, so in chunk loading, because I did mention, I just want to say it before I forget about it. Chunk loading, it used to be very, very simple where you added, I believe it was just an enchantment table with a couple gold and diamonds and maybe an ender pearl. It was very basic. It was a block that you can create, and you just dropped it down smack dab right here, and it would keep a couple chunks loaded. And what I mean a chunk loaded, if you look at a map here, and each one of these boxes that it's highlighted, as you can see, it says wilderness, but try to ignore that. And where I just clicked, that little blue block, it's a chunk. So when I say chunk loaded, what I mean is if I didn't have this chunk loaded, this big area here, if I was to get off this server but leave the server up and running, the wheat wouldn't continue to grow. The sugar cane would not continue to grow. The machines, if I did have machines, they wouldn't work unless I have the chunk loaded. So in Minecraft, you have to be within a chunk for something to happen, or for it to continue to grow. So in vanilla Minecraft, you have to stay up on top, up near your crops for them to continue to grow. If you go to the end or you go to the nether, this area doesn't stay loaded. So it gets taken out of your memory and it's not loaded. So chunk loading sort of just says, hey, there's someone here, even though I'm not. It's kind of a hard concept to wrap your head around, but that's sort of the best way I can explain it. Is you look at this map, say I'm out here, um, basically chunk loading saying I'm here and I'm over here. So it's a good way to make sure an area is loaded up and it stays loaded with items and everything in that chunk continues to work. So when I said to keep the nether chunk loaded, once you place the pump, you have to make sure that chunk is loaded. If not, as soon as you leave the nether, that pump's not going to start pumping lava. As soon as you get up to the overworld, you're not going to have lava. You're going to think there's something wrong. You're going to go back down and move your pump to a different location. You're going to try setting it up a different way, and then you're going to keep running into that over and over again. So you have to make sure it's chunk loaded. In the bottom right here, you can see that I can claim up to 100 chunks if I wanted to. Um, I very rarely ever run into not having enough chunks loaded. But this isn't really loaded. This is claimed. So if you were on a server, you can, as soon as you walk into this block, it says that you entered that territory. I'll show you here real quick. Let me run out of it. And at the top of the screen, you'll see it'll say wilderness. I'm sorry, at the bottom, right there above the level bar, it's just popped up green wilderness. As soon as I run back in, Rouge 13. So that's a way of, if you're playing with say 10 people online, you know whose area you're running into. Um, so to chunk load, I believe it's shift and drag over an item that you already have, or just shift and yeah, you have to have it claimed, and then you just shift and click over what you have claimed. Once it's outlined in red, you can see how it says chunk loaded. You can only have 50 chunks loaded. I believe you could probably change that in the config file if you wanted more, but eventually I will run into an issue where I won't have enough. It's either I build things way too big because I'm not that good at building, so I just make things big. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. So you can have 50 chunks loaded. So that's what I try to save, like 3 or 4 for the nether, just in case if I have other things in there as well. So we shouldn't get close to that number here. So that's what chunk loading does. It just sort of signifies that there's a player there when there really isn't, just to make sure everything is still working. Um, so that's what I'm going to be doing for power. I'll be doing a chunk loaded pump in the nether, bring up lava, and force the lava into a machine that generates power from lava. Then once we go from power, usually I try to go to thermal dynamics or thermal expansion. I'm sorry. Thermal expansion is the redstone furnace, the pulverizer, and there's a couple other machines here that are very, very, very helpful. There's an aqueous accumulator. What this does, is you put it in a unlimited water source, and it'll generate water, and it'll just keep forcing water out. So all the machines you need water, you can just run it from this one block, and you have unlimited water. Very, very, very useful. There's another one in here. Magma Crucible will force items into a liquid. Um, there's a few other ones that we will be using. Igneous Extruder, we will 100% be using. So what I do is I take the water from the aqueous accumulator. I'm gonna mess up that name 100 times because I say it 300 times. I take the water from this machine and I mix it with the lava that I'm pumping from the Nether, and I can mix it in together with this igneous extruder, and you can make cobblestone. You can make smooth stone. You can make cobblestone, or I already said cobblestone, diorite, andesite, granite, and the main one that I like to use is you can craft obsidian. So I let the machine craft obsidian, so I don't even have to go down to mine it. Because even with efficiency 5, it still takes a little bit to mine it, and it's annoying. So I like to just let a machine do it, because that's the point of Feed the Beast, and that's the point of modded Minecraft, is to make something else do your work. Easiest way to explain it. So uh, that's sort of like the roadmap for what I'm going to be doing. I'm definitely going to be wandering around trying to find a village so I can get some different food other than wheat. Because I prefer like potatoes and stuff like that. Because you can get abundance of them. You can set up a machine to farm them for you. I know I'm going to keep coming back to having a machine do your work for you, but it is very useful. Very useful. So that's sort of like the roadmap for what we're going to be doing. I just wanted to do a quick video just to, let you guys in on what I plan on doing in this series, as well as what I'm currently doing. Basically, I'm just mining for right now and just to get some materials, because you sort of need a lot of iron. You need a lot of materials for everything we do. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to mining here. I sort of went over everything that I'm going to be doing for the next couple episodes, but just stay tuned for some uploads. I try to upload the Minecraft Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just to give a little bit of a break on my Let's Play that I'm doing. I'm playing some Wolfenstein Youngblood. I know it's an older game, but I'm playing it with a buddy of mine. We sort of recorded it. It's my first ever recording that I did, and I made a mistake, a few mistakes that I'll be learning from. I sort of just recorded a very, very, very long video, and I tried to edit that video, and my computer wasn't able to handle the edit, so it sort of kept crashing, and I had a lot of problems. So at that point, I sort of just tried to hurry up and try to get the videos chopped up into the portions that I needed for each video, and it just became a nightmare. So if you can go through those with a little bit of a blind eye, just it's a work in progress, 100%. If there's any equipment or mics that you recommend, please leave it down in the comments. I'm not too big into audio. Audio is a nightmare of everybody's, because without good audio, it's. I'm not gonna say it's hard to watch, but it can be. It can be, because right now I'm using a headset microphone, and just when I record it and when I listen back to it, it annoys me. It's a very annoying thing if you don't have good audio. So, if you have any recommendations for a microphone, I'm not looking for a $600 microphone, because I am just starting. So I'm looking for like a low to medium range. I'm looking at a Blue Yeti. 'Cause currently I have a Blue Snowball, but it sounds like I'm in a closet, even though I'm not. I don't like the quality of it. I don't know if maybe I have a bad one, because I have a hard time with it staying connected to my PC or even being recognized by my PC. So I have a lot of troubles with it, so I don't use it. So currently I'm using a Turtle Beach headset mic, and it's not the greatest quality, and it sort of bothers me. So if you guys have any recommendations, like I said, I'm looking at a Blue Yeti. So if you have any others, please let me know. And if there's anything that I can change within this series, please let me know. I'm recording these basically the day before I edit and upload, so it's sort of up to date. The Let's Play, that's not up to date. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I played that about, I want to say, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, if not a little longer. Recorded the whole thing and then started to edit, and then I started to upload it, and then I'm I was thinking I can't get any feedback and make any changes because the whole series is already recorded. There's nothing I can change. There's nothing I can do. There's no recommendations or input that I can have from you guys. So I changed it a little bit. So I'm recording these as I go. I feel like it's going to be a little bit better of an idea. So if there's any recommendations, like what mods you want to see, I don't have to go back and redo a whole series just to import your input your recommendation. So, like I said, if you have any recommendations on anything regarding the channel or equipment or anything like that, just leave a comment. I definitely will read them. I will be responding to them if they're there. So, yeah, I think I might call it here for this video. I'm sorry about the lack of production in this episode, but I just want to sort of lay out a little roadmap for this series and sort of just let you guys know that if you have anything to let me know, just leave a comment. Or I believe I'm going to start linking my Twitter down in the description if you have any other recommendations and you don't get a response on here. Just shoot me over a tweet or a DM or anything like that, and I will 100% answer it. I will try to do my best to answer every single one. So, yeah, if you have any recommendations, like I said, just leave them down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.